This week, we'll show you the world's biggest Mother's Day card. It's all part of a campaign for a 150-year-old baking brand. And the night that young advertising creatives plucked up their courage, put on their brave faces, and looked to become rich and famous. This is Mags on Media on ENCA. A very warm welcome to you. All right, let's start with this. Another year, and it's the season of brand surveys. And first out the block is Millwood Brown's top 100 most valuable global brands. From the agency, we're joined now by Jenni-Ruth Coggin. Jenny, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Big takeout this year. Telecoms and technology make up the largest segment of the survey. I'll suggest to you that there's nothing really new here. This is just the continuation of a big trend.
That is correct. Technology still remains very, very relevant, obviously with Apple being number one in the top 100 survey this year.
The battle though between Apple and Samsung is astonishing. Apple, as you say, number one, but it's grown its brand value by just 1%. Samsung, on the other hand, remains in 30th position, or increases to 30th position, but its brand value has increased by 51%. At some point, that gap surely is going to narrow.
Samsung and Apple are a fantastic story. We must remember that Apple is still 8 times as big in size in terms of value compared to Samsung. But Samsung is one of those winning brands coming out of Asia this year, building, like you said, at 51% year-on-year growth. A lot of this is due to the increase in advertising spend last year. They went up by 1.6 billion US dollars in advertising spend, so very nice correlation there between advertising and building a brand's value and strength, as well as being connected with the consumer, moving with the times, being technologically advanced and at the forefront of innovation. That's what has been driving Samsung's growth.
There was a sense, was there not, that Google perhaps was on the back foot slightly, but this brand valuation survey suggests that it has reversed its fortunes to an extent.
Yes, to a certain extent. It is an interesting tug of war. I think Google is still very much a contender, very strong contender for the number one slot in the survey. Google has also grown, increased in terms of Gmail and online searches, so it will be interesting to see what happens with this brand going forward.
I don't want the conversation to be dominated by technology, yes, but just locally, MTN features on that brand list.
Yeah, also another fantastic story. MTN up 9 places in the study, now sitting at the 79th most valuable brand in the world, and a really nice example about how if a brand does very well locally and then branches out into the world, it can grow itself. But this is what MTN's strength is it understands its customer and it gets that right, and as a result it can expand and grow.
All right, enough of technology. We live in recessionary times. The luxury brand Prada growing by 63%. It outstrips performance of all other luxury brands. I think you'll tell me it's in the 4th position in the luxury category, 95 globally. It's worth $9.5 billion. Luxury brands can still do well.
Yes, and Prada's success, a lot of that is due to moving into the Asian market as well as Asian shopping in Europe. So a lot of brands in the survey have done well because of expanding into Asia, and Prada has been very active in making sure that their customer service goes well and that their store facing is also happening very well for the brand. Most
people hate them, but you'll also say that global banks have bounced back in 2012.
Yes.
To what do we attribute that?
Yes, very much. It does show that perhaps there's an end to the recession that we've been going through, excepting for perhaps in Europe. A lot of the regional banks, and mostly driven by Asia, have grown a lot in the survey this year.
Doesn't matter how bad times are, people will still drink beer, won't they?
Yes, that
brewers
is very
experiencing
true.
a rapid rise.
Nice story for breweries this year. We see Anheuser-Busch with Bud and Bud Light being the top 2 brands in the beer category. Our own SAB Miller coming in, Miller Lite coming through as the top 10th brand. And interesting for Heineken, Heineken was boosted by its advertising during the James Bond film.
Skyfall. Yeah.
Skyfall.
You keep referring in the conversation to Asia in one way or another. To what extent are we starting to see the sun rising on Chinese brands, or is it still too early to call that?
Yeah, well, Chinese brands have been the brands that have grown the most in the survey. China Mobile leading the way in that, but we even see the likes of Toyota coming in, overtaking BMW this year. So a lot of brands coming from Asia and driven by China specifically have made real inroads.
Well, from brand valuation to speed dating for advertising creatives. We told you last week about the Global Portfolio Night initiative for young creative wannabes who are given a chance to pitch their work to hard-bitten, hypercritical, super jaded senior agency professionals. We took our cameras to the McCann worldwide offices who hosted the event.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Hi, my name is Brendan Watson, and I'm the Director of Education at the Art Directors Club. Over the past 10 years, Portfolio Night has helped literally thousands of young creatives from all over the world. Year over year, it has changed lives and altered careers. Good luck, have fun.
Everyone gets a chance to see 3 creative directors in the night over the 3 rounds.
That was scary but absolutely amazing.
It was kind of intense, very informative though, very informative.
Wow.
I definitely worked myself up in the beginning, but as we spoke, I completely calmed down and took the criticism or took the compliments very well, and now I feel prepared for the next person.
It's really helped me so much, given me so much to change and so much to edit, what's going to enhance my portfolio. It's really helped me a lot.
Just getting the critique you need to just make your portfolio stronger. It's amazing.
Just keep your eye on the prize. Some new styles.
You can tell us what you think about the Millwood Brown Brand Survey and also Portfolio Night on our hyperactive Facebook page. The show also lives on Twitter. Coming up, the launch of a new Pan-African media freedom campaign. It's a serious idea, but is it going to find traction?
News that moves. ENCA.com.